Hi guys, thanks for joining me again. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Anne and on my channel I review foreign international content. Today I'm back to review this excellent series called Captivating the King. We're in episode 13 and 14 and I'm going to cry because we only have 2 more episodes to go. Next week is the finale and I really, the writing of this show, it's so good. It's delicious, right? Like if this was a book, it would be just a page turner. Like, it is so well written. Whoever the writer is, kudos. It's so well written. Oh my God, especially the dialogues between the king and Mugu and the king and his crazy uncle, right? Oh my gosh, but the dialogue, the back and forth is so good. And by the way, so are we to assume the poison is in the lipstick? Is that why she's like, can I kiss you? Or was it just a case of like, look, if I'm gonna have to confess that I'm the one who knows what happened and I'm gonna be your evidence against your crazy uncle who is drunk and craving power, then I need one thing. And I'm like, so do you just want to sleep with him? You've always loved him. You just want him to sleep with you and that's why you want to kiss him? Or are you kissing him because that lipstick that was given to you by the crazy uncle has the poison, hence the kiss? And we all know he's not gonna kiss her, right? Come on, this king is always what? He's always one step ahead, so he's seeing this coming, right? So he'll probably be like, girl, move away, okay? Do not touch me. Not to mention, he is so in love. But once again, I was gonna go back to, I don't know about you, but the joy of this show is the dialogue. It's so good, right? Like when Mugu and the king, like in 13, and she goes, look, I wanted to assassinate you because I am so captivated with you. My love for you has grown so much stronger. I needed to do that and also to protect the prince, but my love has gotten so much stronger. I don't know what to do, right? And the king's response to, can you hear my heart? It is beating. It is racing. I'm so overcome with joy. I'm like, who writes that, right? And then in 14, when Mugu is questioning the king, did you arrest Chuldal because I'm a woman to protect me? And he goes, no, I did not arrest Chuldal to protect you because you're a woman. I did it because you are my woman. I'm like, okay, just kill us already. Like, wow, these lines are like, damn, like, wow, right? Like, just incredible. And then I love the dialogue between the uncle and him and how fierce it is and just so intense. Like, the acting is just, I mean, even the uncle, I'm not sure who the actor is, but I'm just loving how he is bringing, I'm gonna make sure you hate me. And boy, the way he just like gets all upset, puts his head up. Oh, I'm just loving it. I'm just eating it up. Like that one section when obviously the king is like, look, I know that it was you. And clearly the queen is also behind it, but I know it was you. You are the person who's been sending the spy to Kyung or wherever that is, that other kingdom, right? And you're communicating with Prince Rui, and you are the one who poisoned the king before, right? So please confess, and that way I don't have to do an interrogation in front of your peers, so you can save face, right? Confess your sins and I'll be lenient to you. And the uncle is like, well, I'm gonna need some time to think about it. And the king is like, you've got 1 day. You got 1 day to think about it and then come to me tomorrow, right? And then he goes, but king, don't you see it's gonna look bad on you? The fact that you're asking me to confess the sins. It's almost like me and you are attached together. Because we are attached together, you also kind of seem guilty. And it's almost like a pretext to prison, is what he says to the king. And the king is like, oh, okay. Once again, this king, smart and always one step ahead, goes, oh, so in that case, maybe what I need to do is wield my sword against my kin, meaning my people, meaning you, because you have been reckless and are misusing power, right? Like he just killed his servant, that one guy who they found out, oh, he's the one who was sent by the uncle to go do the crazy stuff. Uncle finds out and he's like off with his head, right? The king knows that, right? Now you're killing people because you're trying to cover up all your sins and I'm on to you. Like, you need to stop. This is a warning. And he says, well, in that case, I should wield my sword, kill you, so that the people can finally feel like I'm doing justice and I'm no longer this, pathetic king, right? So that's what I should do, right? And you could tell the uncle is like, oh my gosh. But that dialogue between back and forth with them, oh, so good, right? Anyway, let's go back to episode 13. So in 13, we found a lot of good things. So we found out, first of all, Mugu's father is still alive. He's in Beijing. And that's why the king sent the princess to go to Beijing, because he knew somebody would be there to watch out for her. And it turns out it's Mugu, Kang Hee-so's father. For a second there, I looked at Kang Hee-so and she's just like, first of all, relieved my dad is still alive. But on the other hand, like, oh my God, I want to see my dad. Like, I wish I was her, because that means my dad is watching over her. I want my dad, right? Like, I felt like she longed to see her dad. So that was good to find out. We also found out in 13 that it was the Queen Duanga who forced that maid to go become the maid for the previous king. Although she was scared, she didn't want to do it. But the queen kind of posed it as, you go there, and then that way you can be like a spy to keep an eye on that king, because that way you'll be protecting Prince Yan at the time, because that's who she was always in love with, right? Case in point, this situation right here. That way, look at it as you're trying to watch out for him. Okay, whatever. And then we know she was definitely involved with the poisoning of the previous king. So that was interesting to find out in 13. And then obviously in 13 as well, we also saw the one-eyed guy. It's almost like he's let go of his resentment towards the king, because they're starting to get an understanding like, look, clearly you were used. Clearly there was a spy that was sent to give you up. They found out that it was you who was out there, and that's how you get hurt. So let's work together to find out who was it that sold you. And obviously we know behind all of it, it's the king's uncle, right? He is just drunk with power. To me, at this point, I'm like, you just don't care anymore who's on the throne. You just want power. Because right now, he wants the crown prince now to take over, right? But before, remember, the whole time they've been working hard to get rid of him and his sister, Queen Doanga. So I'm like, what do you want? No, at the end of the day, he really doesn't care who's on that throne. What he needs is a king who's a puppet that he can use so he can have power and control the kingdom behind the scenes, right? He's so obsessed with just power. Then in 14, obviously, we saw that Mugu, who I'm a little worried, Mugu is going to end up in trouble. We saw when he was talking, he remembered it was Hyunbo who told his father that I'm the one who saw the one-eyed guy in the same spot, in the same area with the king. And that's why they thought the prince at the time, Prince Yan right here, that he was a spy, right? And then his dad, Mugu's father, took that information to the king. And then at the end, we found that it was not the truth. And the father gets killed, right? When he found out he killed Mugu's father. And Mugu is still holding on to revenge. He obviously has seen that now Mugu has definitely, is on the king's side. And really, Mugu is not believing anybody. And I'm worried that he's going to end up getting in trouble thanks to Hyunbo again, right? I'm just worried for him. He's going to be caught with the wrong side of the team because he is not letting go. His resentment for the king, obviously, because he killed his father, right? So it'll be interesting to see what becomes of that. Obviously, the motivation is to now have the crown prince take over his nephew. I can see why he has, that becoming his motive. So we'll see what becomes of that. But I'm worried for him in what becomes of him, because I'm feeling like he's going to end up on the wrong side and gets roped in with all of them and goes down, right? Do you feel the same way? I also thought it was pretty funny that the uncle now, because he's being caught by this king who's like, I know it was you who poisoned the first king and I'm asking you to confess. And he runs to his sister Queen Dewanga to complain like of all the things I've done for him to be on the reign. I cannot believe instead of just being grateful, now he wants me to confess about all those things that I've done wrong. And it's like, what? No, I'm not gonna do that. And then obviously in 14, oh, that scene with Mugu was so touching, where you can tell he's a man in love, and he's like, if I tell you what I've done, I'm worried that you're gonna hate me and you're not gonna respect me or even like me anymore. And then he goes ahead and confesses to Mugu that, look, this is what I did. I took over the throne. I did not follow my brother's last words of the prince. The little prince should be the king, right? But then the way Mugu was like, no, no, no. If anything, I feel like you are, right? Because the first thing you're supposed to do was find out who killed the king, which is what you're doing right now. That's what you're trying to out, right? And second of all, you did protect the crown prince. You had to go become the king, but you becoming the king right now is protecting the crown prince. And I believe at the end, the crown prince, the little small prince, who end up becoming the king, because now he is his heir, right? Unless him and Mugu, Kang Ho-si, get married and maybe they have kids. But as of right now, I'm thinking the crown prince is the first in line to become the next king when he's not king, right? And it was just interesting how when she said that to him and she hugs him, you could just see the guilt just kind of like melt and the tears in his eyes. And he hugs her almost like, you see me, you see who I am. And oh, how touching is their love, right? Like, it's just so special and strong. And oh, I'm hoping for a happy ending. But with this show, we know, who knows what's gonna happen. But in my book, for a happy ending, this is what I want to see, is the uncle is taken down. The mother is also gonna have to be punished because she was part of the whole poisoning of the first king. And then I want to see where Kang Hee-so now lives as Kang Hee-so instead of Mugu, and marries the king. And they are there to support the crown prince until he's of age where he can become king. And they lived happily ever after, right? That is what I would like. That being said, based on the way the writing is going and this wonderful writer, whoever he is, anything is possible, right? Anything is possible. But once again, oh my gosh, 13 and 14, so good. Like I said, the writing is just beautiful and just captivating, right? The writing is captivating. No pun intended, right? The writing is just superb. Anyway, what did you think of 13 and 14? Let me know in the comment section. As usual, I am so glad to see there's so many people who are appreciating this show. I have gotten so many comments and some new subscribers. Thank you so much. Love you, Sarange. Thank you so much for joining our community. Let me know in the comment section what you think the finale is gonna be. I think I've heard that there will not be a second season. I wish they would do a second season. I feel like this show has legs. They could go so many places with this, but I heard we don't get a second season, but I'm looking forward to see how they're gonna wrap it up as a finale. Oh, what a fantastic series. Anyway, if you do like my video, give me a like, subscribe. It does help to support my channel. And I'll see you next week for the finale. Deuces.